What's going on, everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of the Dark Avenger comic book review. I'm alive, everybody. Yeah, none of you care. It's okay. What's up, Alan? What's up, Legend Storm? Alan, yes, you are first, and Legend, you are second. Tevia will be here momentarily now that the bell probably rung that I'm live.
Or if you're talking about Spider-Man.
I don't think we are this week.
As you can see behind us, video.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that. So we're gonna have a little little update for the pre-show because I've been sick, and there was a lot that was supposed to get done last week that didn't get done, and now there's a lot to get done this week that needs to get done to stay on schedule. So for those of you that know already, we're working on something with Comic Book Corner. There's going to be a blog on it. I'm moving stuff around as we speak, and that's why Mike pointed out the bottom over here. All the stuff that used to be here is now, if I can, over there on the door. So we've moved, and we actually did get another mini mates. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my finger.
You took off all the posters?
Yeah, the posters are gone. So we got the mini mate. I'll take a picture of it and put it on Instagram. I believe I forgot to do that before I hung it up, but we got the Iron Spider Hulk mini mate set from Avengers Infinity War. By the way, I don't think I had mentioned this, but we got a new poster. This used to be the Wolverine and Colossus poster. It is now the Avengers Infinity War. What I'm going to be doing when it comes to this poster from now on, well, that one, yeah, because we got rid of the Avenger one. The Avenger one was too long, so we moved the Avenger. Anyway, this poster, or this section of the wall, is going to be a changing poster. Every once in a great while, we'll get a new poster, and it'll go there. Right now, Avengers Infinity War is the biggest thing. Probably going to be the biggest thing for the next couple of months, so that's what's going to be there. When another poster arises that interests us, we will switch it up. So this is going to be the ever-so-changing poster on the wall. I'm sorry, the light just sucks when it comes to it. But you guys know the Avengers Infinity War poster. Those two are kind of like staple posters. So Spider-Man, Superman are staying. So are the Mario ones because they're Mario. So and Cap Shield is technically over the bottom one. But anyway, yeah, the other poster will be a forever changing poster from this moment on. This wall used to be called Signature Wall. The bottom row is going to have comics, but they're not going to be signed. So very soon this might actually just be called Comic Wall, or I might keep it a Signature Wall. You never know. Maybe Signature Books will end up back on the bottom row, and those comics that are on the bottom row will be taken off, or maybe I'll even get the bottom one signed. I don't know what I'm doing yet.
Or if any New York Comic Con signing happens, if it happens.
If it happens, it happens.
Yeah, if it happens.
But there's just construction going on in the room right now. There's going to be some changes, and there will be a vlog video for all of it. All right. So look forward to that. Now, this week, I have the Dark Avenger podcast, which I need to record. That will be recorded soon. I have the unboxing AMA update video, which is going to end up probably becoming a unboxing update video that's going to lead into something that will be the AMA instead. So that might actually be a video leading into a live show. What that will be, stay tuned. Other than that, viewer's choice. Now, I didn't really push last weekend's voting, so we didn't have a lot of votes. We had a few votes. And the winner, from what I saw last, unless more people voted between the last 5 or 6 hours in the running for the poll, was Invincible Iron Man 600, or Iron Man 600, whatever it's called, the 600th issue of Iron Man. I didn't get to do the viewer's choice for Superman Special, which is in this week's review, and I always mention that to you, all of you, that if I don't do a viewer's choice for whatever reason, the book will still be in the Dark Avenger comic book review. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to do Superman. I don't know if we're going to get to Iron Man. And also, we did not have that many votes this week because I forgot to mention it on Monday because we didn't have a review show on Monday. And I didn't mention it on Frontline Live either because I wasn't on Frontline Live. So, because of the lower votes, I might skip this week as well to catch up. There will be a new poll up and that poll will be being pushed, and hopefully all of you. Alan, I'm looking at you because you are the man that actually is in the comments all the time, making sure that links and votes and stuff are happening. So hopefully you will be in the comments and you will keep promoting it. I don't have a poll up yet. I don't know which books I'm going to pick yet for the poll, but probably 2 Marvel, 2 DC, like always. And then if I have an independent book that I can stick in the middle, I will. If not, it'll be 4. I think last week was 4 as well. So lots of updates right now for what this week is going to entail. The Dark Avenger podcast will probably be on the weekend uploaded.
And your birthday weekend is coming up as well.
Yes, it's going to be my birthday this coming weekend. We're going to be celebrating it. Live show is going to be on the 29th, which is Tuesday.
I'm just going to say one thing. I hate to interrupt you. I got you something. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though.
Live show is going to be on the 29th, followed by Frontline Live. I'm not going to bother guessing because you're not going to tell me.
No, of course not.
Room construction's happening. There will be a vlog. It won't be this week, though. This week, I would say, is comprised of the Dark Avenger podcast, the unboxing / update leading into an AMA later on. I'm going to promote the birthday stream now. I'll promote it again on Monday when we do the comic review, which hopefully will be on time. I believe we're going into the 4th week of the month. If we don't catch up,
and also Memorial Day.
What's up, Justin? Yes, if we don't catch up by this coming week, I'm positive the last week of May we will catch up because it's the 5th week of the month, and usually the 5th week of the month has a very sparse amount of books. So if we don't catch up next week, and we're doing this again on Wednesday, we will catch up by the following week. Which is June. So, no, which is the last week of May, which will be the first week of June.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, yeah, you're right. So we will catch up. But that's all the updates I can think of right now. Look forward, like I said, to the vlog show. Like I said, construction's already started to happen. These 2 rows of books right here are staying, so don't worry, that's not being moved. All the all the stuff that was here is over there on the door now. You guys saw it on Instagram probably already. The whiteboard that I have ordered is actually here. That was on Instagram. And on YouTube and on Facebook. I mentioned that I got a whiteboard, so that will be going up. Changes are coming. But how many books do we have this week?
This week we have 17 books.
Really? I felt like we had more.
I thought so too, but actually no, it's 17 books. And by the way, all the 17 books were released on May 16, 2018.
Yes. So yeah, I think that was a good enough update. Again, this is on Wednesday, so I'm not expecting a huge crowd to come out because usually we do this on Monday. That's another reason why I want to try to get these reviews back on track because everybody, including myself, is already invested in the books that were released today. So you get sick.
Dropbox tomorrow.
Yeah. So let's get into this week's books.
Yep, time is yours.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNT Universe 22. The final part to the Utrum Triceraton, not war, but they're living together now on Burnow Island. And they're trying to come to a truce. Somebody kills and Utrum, not an Utrum, a Triceraton, or was it an Utrum? I don't even remember. This story kind of went all over the place. But anyway, so we find out that it was an Utrum that actually caused the assassination and is trying to sabotage the friendship between Triceratons and Utrums. And there's going to be another assassination attempt, and Donatello has to figure out what, where, and how to stop it. He does, of course, because it's Donatello. And they're hoping that this is the beginning of peace between the 2 races. We don't know for sure. But there's Tevia. But in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 82, we find out that oh God, what's the professor's name now?
Wait, I'll get to it. Hold on.
I forgot the professor's name actually. No, oh God, Baxter Stockman. Stockman ends up telling Bishop where he sent the Triceraton. So now Bishop is going to probably switch his focus to Burnow Island. I think this is going to involve Baxter Stockman's transformation, because we all know he becomes Fly at some point. I don't know if this is immediately connected to it or not, or how it's the beginning, because we all know that what's his name, Bishop is using a machine to control Slash. So maybe Stockman will take it and try to control one of his fly bots, one of his bigger fly bots, and die his human form, and his brain will be sent over to the fly bot. I don't know. I mean, we got that with Donatello, kind of. Donatello and Metalhead, but Metalhead unfortunately died. I don't know. But anyway, the Turtles are looking to one of the Pantheons to help, to stop Kitsune's plan to bring back their father, and to kind of cause havoc, and Rat King causing havoc in New York. They want to find a way to stop him. So he offers help, but not to go against his fellow brother, but he offers a means of how the Turtles can get help. And that's where no, Tevye, Splinter's not dead.
Really? Why would you? Okay.
But I liked it. They picked one of the four. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you saw the cover for next month, you know who they picked already, which kind of, I knew the cover coming, so it was like, really? That was kind of anticlimactic. But they choose Mammoth, and they go to him because he's the only one that's kind of against Kitsune and Rat King right now. I haven't even started my comics yet. Legend, man, you should go back to the very beginning. No one's father is dead at this point, Tevye. No, nobody's father's dead. The Pantheon's father is not in the plane of existence, and they want to bring him back. That's all. Nobody's father's dead. Hun is alive. Splinter's alive. Shredder obviously is dead for now, but that's about it. I like how they're gearing up for issue 90, because every 10 they gear to the next one. So 80 through 90 is its own little story. And then what we're going to get is 90 on is going to, well, actually, I think from now, really, it's a lot building. Like, all these chapters are building to some huge explosive 100th issue. And by the way, Michael will be back doing Turtles soon, because the Color Classics are coming back next month, but they're not going to be called Color Classics, because this is going to be the Peter Laird run, which is, they're calling it TMNT Urban Legend. I didn't know this, so I actually had to order the first issue from Midtown. I believe it's coming next week.
Is this the red bandana ones or the?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm just making sure.
This is the one where Donatello becomes mostly robot.
And this is black and white.
No, it's Color Classics.
Wait a minute, so you read this one already?
No, I never read this. I don't even have it in the trades. They never even made an Ultimate Collection.
Wait, this is the brand new.
This is a run that happened after Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird separated.
Oh, so then that. Oh, okay.
So it'll be
I didn't
interesting.
even know they separated.
Oh, it'll be interesting. It's going to be an interesting run for you. I think it only went about 20 or 30 issues. I'm not even sure if it even went that long. Either way, it'll be fun.
It'll be fun for you.
And I think that's all that Michael's going to be doing Turtle-wise. Yeah, and then when Amazing Spider-Man comes out, that's 2 months from now.
We already heard about that.
So, Turtles, very good. Very good issue. I'm enjoying it. Again, I feel like this is really building up to 100, so I feel like things are a little bit slower than what we were getting in the very beginning, but it's understandable because now it's kind of like, I feel like Kevin Eastman and Tom Walls are building to what might very well be a very explosive 100th issue.
Well, I'm just going to read the...
That's like asking how many times Flash or Batman have died.
Flash,
Shredder only died once, Tevye, in both. Whenever you look at a Turtle arc, Shredder only dies once and then ends up coming back. I feel like Tom Waltz tried to copy a bit of what happened in the very first volume of TMNT, and then after that, he kind of went his own way. I feel like the original way Shredder died was through the Turtles and Splinter. This time around, it was Splinter who ended Shredder's life and then took over the Foot. That's the new round. I feel like by the end of issue 100, we might start getting a more classic feel back to Splinter. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that that's what we're probably going to be getting.
Bloodshot Salvation, issue number 9, and I could just sum this up in just one sentence. This issue is about the story of Bloodshot's dog. Enough said. Like, I'll show you because I know that. No, I know you're interested in dogs and everything. So it gives the origin story about how the dog was being experimented on with the.
I knew it. See, that's why I gave that look. I hate when they have stories about dogs and then it's
however, like, with the nanites, they show like how they have the red eyes and everything.
Oh, they have the nanites in them.
Yeah. See?
Okay.
Red eyes.
I just don't like books that have experiments. I love dogs. Everybody who knows me knows I love dogs.
Yeah,
so.
And then it just talked about, his origin story. I'll skip the rest because I know you don't want to see that. Yeah. That's why I'm skipping it. And then the end, it's good. It was all just a dream because you see Bloodshot just saying, it was all just a dream. So basically, it was given a rundown about the dog's life before meeting with Bloodshot. Real interesting story, but if you're a dog lover like he is, even I am too, you're probably not gonna. But yeah, that's it.
I'm watching with 3 dogs laying in the floor. I love dogs. As a matter of fact, it's been a while since Cookie passed away. We're actually talking about getting a new dog. We actually fostered a dog for about a year. That dog actually moved on now. So we're looking to actually own a dog again. And hopefully we will very soon. That's all I'm going to say. You guys will know if anything happens in social media. But I miss my dog. I really do. And I'm hoping that getting a new dog might help fill the void a little bit. But your first dog you never forget. And Cookie, you all know who Cookie was. Cookie was definitely one of a kind dog. She was a very good dog. Star Trek The Next Generation Through the Mirror, issue number 3. I actually looked into solicits, and there is a Next Generation miniseries coming. Not the Mirrorverse, the actual verse. So I'll be looking forward to that. I believe issue 2 is going to be in July, because that book is for July, I think. But anyway, I'll definitely be looking forward to that. But into this one. So, the Enterprise. This whole book is about Barclay from the Mirrorverse, the Darkverse, learning how to change up a distress call on the Enterprise, and then later on he's meant to assassinate Jean-Luc from the regular universe. And what's happening is we find out that the Mirrorverse ran out of resources, so somehow Picard from the Dark Mirrorverse found a way to travel into the regular verse, and they're stealing parts and stuff and then trading it off to the Federation. And now they're going to do the biggest heist ever, which is going to be the Enterprise. And that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And Barclay and the Inquisitor infiltrate the Enterprise, and plan looks like it's going off without a hitch, but I think that Jean-Luc actually is smart enough to kind of question what's going on. And I like how they're wearing the old Star Trek suits, because like Jay said, the only time we saw the dark verse was during Star Trek, not the Next Generation. So this is the first time we're seeing it with Next Generation. So they're wearing the old Star Trek outfits, and they're being questioned while they're on the Enterprise. When did you start wearing like old attire? And like, I felt nostalgic. It was very, very interesting, and I'm interested in seeing what Jean-Luc actually figures out, or has figured out already, on this distress call. I think that the person who sent the distress... My guess is I think that the person they were using for the distress call is an older Federation member that's long since retired, and they didn't know that in the Mirrorverse. That's what I'm predicting. I could be wrong though, but I'm almost sure that that's the problem. We'll have to wait and see, but I love it. It's a weekly series. I'm getting it physically as we speak because I'm loving it. I already got the trade for the other Behind the Mirror or a Mirror. So this one is, if you have not been reading it, if you're a Next Generation fan, you really should. And then the follow-up story was a pretty quick one this week. Data's on the planet still. He goes through a couple of bandits or whatever. And I thought it was a bar, but I guess it wasn't. I guess it was a hideout. Not really much dialogue. It's just at the very end, he's like, Emperor Spock, I presume, and you see Spock move the hoodie off of his head, and that's where it leaves you off. Now, next issue is the penultimate issue. It came out today. Today is the penultimate issue. Next week is the last issue. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in 2 more issues. Oh, we have a dog story. Oh, I'm sorry they had to put the dog down. Oh, I'm sorry, Legend. All right, you go. I'll be right back.
All right. Grimm Tales of Terror, Volume 4, Issue number 2. After I read this book, I can never look at chain mails ever again the same way. Because here's what the story's about. Basically, this random guy receives a random
Chain letter?
Yeah, like a random chain letter saying that, and this will work if you kill someone you love, because if you don't do so in so-and-so minutes, then we're going to kill the ones that are closest to you. So you know how they say, yeah, that's a lot of hoo-ah and everything. Well, when it comes to Grimm Tales of Terror universe, I would never, but I'm just saying in their universe, So basically, he just goes through hell about, not listening to it, and then his closest friends die, and then his girlfriend's at the brink of dying and everything, and things just get, like, very out of control, where he doesn't everything, but...
No, you're done?
The way it ended, though, was just wow. So I can never look at chainmail. I never even...
Jesse, if you didn't read the Mirror story... You don't have to. They don't connect. But I would recommend this series. Absolutely. I think you'd like it, Justin. I said Jesse. I'm sorry. Jesse's on my mind because I saw him on Discord. I'm surprised he's not here. He'll probably show up later on. But Justin, I would definitely recommend you check out this because I think you'd like it. I know you love Star Trek. You'd like this and... Oh, boy. I'm fixing the microphone. I'm fixing the microphone. And I would definitely recommend this series. I think you'll love it. I don't read Star Trek books normally. I love The Next Generation enough to try it, and I'm not regretting a moment of it. I hope they make it an ongoing. They have so many Star Trek ongoing books, The Next Generation should be one. The only Star Trek I never really got into was Deep Space Nine, and I don't know why. I just never got into it. Voyager I liked. I think I stopped like a season before it ended because it was and I never watched the new Star Trek that came out, and I didn't watch the other Star Trek with the guy from Quantum Leap. I never watched that one either. I think The Next Generation was one of my... And then the movies from Next Generation, of course. I watched those. I love those. You could tell I'm a Next Generation fan because I love The Next Generation. It was always fun, even though Whoopi Goldberg was on some of the episodes. Green Lantern Star Trek was good. Green Lantern Star Trek, I think, Tevye, because it was a crossover, was good. And also, I like that they used the new Star Trek team. I would love to see a Green Lantern Star Trek Next Generation crossover. I liked it. I love both volumes. Both volumes were, between those and the TMNT Batman crossover, I think IDW and DC have been knocking it out of the park with their crossovers. Whether it be from DC or from IDW, they've been knocking it out of the park. I want more. I'd like a Volume 3 for that, what we're talking about, the Star Trek and Green Lantern. I'd like a Volume 3. And I'd like a Volume 3, the TMNT Batman, but not following the animated series because IDW, starting in July, is doing that horribly stupid new rendition of the Turtles. Oh yes, that's their new cartoon turtle
Why
comic.
are you looking at that?
I'm not even bothering to look at that. I saw the cover and I couldn't tell you how fast I clicked the next button. But if they do a Volume 3 with the Turtles, I hope they do the comic verse. I really hope they don't go back and do another cartoon verse unless they do Batman the Animated Series meets the 80s cartoon. I think that would be a little bit better.
Maybe, I don't know.
Way better than new cartoon verse.
Now this is sideways. I can't get it front ways.
No, Tevye, that would not work out. You're pushing for something that you're. It's like putting oil and water, Tevye. You're trying to mix oil and water. Stop. The crossovers that they have set, I believe, are the best. And Star Trek crossing over with Green Lanterns is the best idea. New Turtles, new Thundercats. Now, I agree with what Jay did on Frontline Live yesterday, and I agree with his thumbnail. When it comes to both of those series, I give the middle finger, but, you know, I'm trying to stay as clean as possible. But, I mean, I would say that, yeah, no, I agree with Jay 100%. This is what I say for Thundercats and for TMNT's new series. They just are bastardizing something that...
Why are they changing Thundercats?
Oh, you don't want to know what they're doing with Thundercats.
Don't tell me they're making him...
Oh, they're making it dumb. We're talking Rick and... No, Rick and Morty's actually done good. I forgot. Let me think of the... Like, Teen Titans, the new way they do that cartoon, that's how they're going to do
Titans Go?
Yes, they're going to do Thundercats like that.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. They're bastardizing our childhood. They're bastardizing history. By the way, children, let your kids know, or let your nieces, nephews, cousins know, this is not how it was back in the 1980s and 1990s. You're
going to try to convince them? They're not going to want to
know. Kids love... That's because they're... Problem is, society thinks it's funny now to have fart jokes in all of their cartoons.
Oh, believe me, I hear it all the time, and I wish they'd stop saying that word.
Fart?
For the kids in my school, yeah, they're not supposed to say that.
I know they're not. That's not a nice word to say.
That's what I'm saying.
When we were kids, we said we let out air, or we gas, or whatever.
Or we said bubble.
You said a bubble. I said gas.
I like bubbles. That's why. Sorry about... Well, what, the new Thundercats? Yeah, just... No, I enjoy the childhood of the TMNT and the Thundercats, but this...
I wouldn't let my son watch this. Even if he was older, I wouldn't let him watch this. This is not classic Thunder. I know that they're going to say, oh, you're rigid. It has to be this. Yes! It's what it was all its life.
That's why...
That's like when the Turtles. Again, my biggest problem was they took the Turtles mythos and they completely screwed it.
That's why Lunatics went how many seasons and how many episodes?
Lunatics went
1 season.
1 season. I'm trying to think how many episodes. Not even.
Probably not even up to 10.
And then they tried to bring it back with, remember Bugs and Daffy?
Uh-huh.
And that didn't last more than about 2 seasons. And the only reason it lasted 2 seasons was there was a fanfare for it, because at first it was kind of the way it used to be, and then it went off on its own. And
no, you can't.
They brought back... Now, Disney brought back Muppet Babies. And it's sort of the way it used to be, at least. So I can let that pass because they at least tried to stay faithful. They did try to stay faithful with Muppet Babies.
They did. I just don't like that Gonzo sounds a little bit like Stuffy from Doc McStuffins. So.
Well, that's voice acting. You can't blame them on that.
But it's...
So I got to give Disney credit. At least Disney, because my son watches Muppet Babies. And he likes Muppet Babies. And at least I could say, yeah, that's what Muppet Babies was all about. It was these kids. They had these imaginary adventures in that room that they were always in. Obviously, they're not going to use Star Wars from way back in the 1960s and 70s, but at least the concept of Muppet Babies stayed the same. They didn't change the animation much. They introduced a new character, the bird.
Oh,
I forgot her name. I don't know what her name is. But at least they stayed faithful to it. Turtles is not faithful to shit anymore, and we won't even... It was so horrible. When I saw that Thundercats picture, I wanted to throw something so hard at a wall. Children, this was not our childhood. I feel bad for kids growing up right now because they do not know the awesomeness that was the true Thundercats. They don't know the awesomeness that was the true Transformers, because Transformers went through a huge change over the years, and they don't know anything about the real Teen Titans. Well, no, Titans it's early enough that some kids caught it. But you guys don't know the childhood we had was awesome. G.I. Joe. Oh, you can't do G.I. Joe anymore.
He-Man.
The real He-Man, that's right. We had good cartoons.
He-Man.
The animation might not have been as good as it is now, but the quality of what was done and the stories that were written was top-notch. And I will make sure that reflects in the books I write. Celestial Falcon is going to reflect the cartoon heroes that I saw when I was growing up. Other books that I'm writing will reflect what I remember growing up, not the fart joke stupidness that we're getting nowadays. Y'all remember Bob the Builder? My son was watching a brand new episode of it.
Yeah, they changed that too.
It's not claymation anymore. It's 3D animation, and it's terrible. Awful. So any of you out there that were young enough to watch Bob the Builder, I was older when I started seeing Bob the Builder. But anyone who watches that now, no. The new Thundercats hurt your heart, Justin? The new Turtles hurt my heart. The Thundercats hurt a piece of my heart, but the Turtles, it's like they got me right dead in the middle. We're going too far into cartoons. Barrier number 3, the silent issue.
It's sideways. I can't get it.
I'm going to try to just...
No, because it won't work. Maybe a little bit.
There we go. Okay, take it back. So, it's a silent issue because their ears, the aliens talk and they lose their hearing. So, the Spanish guy, Hector, I believe his name is, finds his book and is able to save it. The girl is now locked away, and Hector finds her, and they figure out that fire hurts the alien ship, long story short. So they have to make a fire, so he has to give up the book that he went crazy to save. But he does save one page from it, which was his niece who drew it for him, or nephew. I couldn't tell. There was a tattoo of a baby on him. So I like this issue. Will they get their hearing back by this week's issue? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm sure some of you are already reading Barrier 4. Barrier is another series I would definitely recommend. There's no nudity in this issue, though. So whatever happened in issue 1 and 2 did not cross over to 3. Probably, I don't know if it'll be in 4 or 5, so don't quote me. But in this issue, there was no nudity. At least I didn't.
Well, let's hope it doesn't turn into like a savage dragon.
I'm actually curious now to go back and look and see. No, this is a 5-issue, 5 weeks.
Well, you want me
done.
To bring it up again?
No, I'm not gonna go through it now live.
No,
I'll do it later. No. So, Barrier is another good one. If you would like a recommendation between Star Trek being weekly and Barrier being weekly, those are 2 books I make sure every week that I order from Midtown. As a matter of fact, today I ordered the last issues of each one. Star Trek, Barrier. Those are the only 2 I missed for next week. So I feel good that we only had to order 2 books from Midtown for next week. We're done for the month of this month. And with DCBS now, everything's caught up with Power Rangers and all the Marvel books. So we only have to go through next month again with with Midtown, and then everything will be from DCBS. But I might, like I said, by that point with DCBS, I'll know if I want to keep getting the books physically or not, and those are going to be the ones that I switch to Midtown permanent or just drop completely. So we're going into Marvel, right? Yeah. Okay, you're good. I want to make sure you were done.
Yeah. No, you were done.
I remember Bob the Builder. Yeah, well, it's gone now. What? Older or a porno?
Probably a porno, maybe with the Savage Dragon I was talking about.
I don't know. Okay. But we're going to go into Marvel now, and I knew this was going to happen. I honestly didn't know if it was going to be this issue or if it was going to be this week's first issue, but the first 2 Hunt for Wolverine minis I liked. The Daredevil one, the Adamantium one is my absolute favorite. Claws of a Killer, I feel like the writer here didn't do... One up, please. Muroko Tamaki did not do a single freaking bit of research because Dawkins is now an anti-hero. I mean, if you've read any of All New Wolverine, you know Dawkins is, while he still has his dark side, he's more hero now than anti-hero. And you also know that Sabretooth still is under the influence of what happened way back when the mindsets of villains and heroes were switched. Sabretooth is supposed to be on a good guy swing, but I think he's losing it anyway because we're starting to see that with WeaponH. So I could believe Sabretooth. I feel like Dawkins is the one that's way out of character here for me. I didn't like the issue. So they got together because Lady Deathstrike finds out that Wolverine might be alive. And now all of a sudden Sabretooth is completely dark again. We have to make sure that your daddy is dead. Nobody hates his father more than Dawkins again, out of nowhere. So apparently Dawkins completely in as well. And there's a piece with Wolverine at the beginning of the book where he's in this town possibly being mind controlled. We don't know, but apparently he does something, and now all the townsfolk have become zombies because that's how the book ends. They end up in the town. Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike go off one way. Dawkins stays near the car, gets attacked by zombies, to be continued. And he can't heal again. Now his healing factor is screwing up again. I really feel like nobody did their research with Dawkins, and that really upsets me. I feel like the research that was done in this book was little to none. Dawkins seemed very out of character. These characters all of a sudden went from trying to be helpful to, now that Wolverine's alive for some apparent reason, we are evil again, and we need to make sure he's dead. If he is dead, we got to chop him up into pieces to make sure nobody finds him and nobody's able to bring him back. And if he is alive, we got to kill him, then chop him into... It's like, what? This book is very out of character for the characters that we are dealing with. This so far is my least favorite. There's the last miniseries that starts now, which is the Manipur one. I don't think I'm not going to like it. I can't tell you yet because I haven't even looked at it. But number one, I didn't like the art in this book. I didn't like the art in this book. Number two, the characters are a little bit off for me, and I felt like I was reading something that didn't take place in the present-day Marvel Universe, which is not true. It is. I didn't like that Dawkins went back to being dark just because his dad might still be alive. So that's definitely a minus for me. Obviously, I'm going to finish all of these books, but yeah, it was a minus. This book definitely is so far my least favorite. We'll see where next episode goes with Manipur. But I digress. I didn't like the art. I'm really not into the story. Do you need to read this? So far, I don't think it has anything to do with anything other than people who hate Wolverine trying to make sure that Wolverine is dead. This, I don't know why I picked it up. I bought this book physically because I thought this was the wedding. Because it says the wedding celebration and X-Men wedding celebration one-shot annual. It's the wedding special, but it's not. They don't get married here. But I enjoyed it. I am reading X-Men Gold. This is leading into what's happening next in X-Men Gold. It was an enjoyable issue, but again, I'm not reading X-Men Gold anymore. I strictly bought this, and this was one of the last books, or one of the first books I read, so I'm already forgetting about it. I really should go back and reread it. That's why I'm not going to get too deep into it. But because I'm only reading X-Men Gold right now for the wedding, and we're not getting the wedding, we're getting everything but. Again, if you're invested in X-Men Gold, if you're invested in the Kitty Pryde and Colossus wedding, grab the book. For $5, though, if I would have known this wasn't the legit actual wedding of Peter and Kitty, probably wouldn't have bought it. It has some good stories in it, but again, it's not something that I would write home to mom about.
Yeah.
Tevye says they just lied. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's also another forgetful book that I read this week. X-Men Red issue number 4.
Oh, for some reason I thought that was all new Wolverine because it has Laura on the cover.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna go blow my nose real quick.
Yeah. Well, basically in this issue, you know, of course, it starts off where they're going after Storm because you know she thinks that the Sentinel is taking over and everything. You know, with Wakanda and whatnot. So you know. Jean is trying, you know, to get through her, just saying that, you know, like everything's all good and everything. So, Oreo, I think, was in this one, or whatever his name was, that took out Storm. And it's just like really just all talking wise. And then they go with Namor, and then she has talked with Namor about the whole extinction, about what could happen, how they want to put a stop to it, because that's what Red is. Like, they're trying to find out who is trying to get rid of mutant extinction. And it looks like that we sort of found out who it is, but the name of the character is just... Well,
I think I know these characters, too. They were actually in somewhere else.
Yeah, like, I can't remember what his name was, if they mentioned it. But, really something. And then I see Namor with the next preview issue cover, so maybe he might play something. I don't know, but it was an alright issue. How many issues are read?
It's an ongoing.
Oh, it is ongoing?
Now, I feel like this book versus another book, because every time it comes out with the same book. WeaponH issue number 3, and it comes out always the same week as Damage. And out of the two books, I like both books. I don't want you guys to think I don't like either book. But I like WeaponH. I'm kind of different than Brand, because I saw Brand's countdown. And he thinks that Damage does WeaponH better than WeaponH. I enjoy WeaponH. However, the fact that the guy who can become WeaponH now, the fact that he's able to pull out the claws like Wolverine without even hulking out, and even the characters that see him, they're like, Wolverine? And he's like, no, and then he hulks out completely, and he's like, I'm better. So basically, he can be Wolverine when he wants, and then he can be the Hulk Wolverine when he needs to be stronger. I don't know. I feel like, well, where are we going with this book? Because so far we've seen him running away from this company, Roxxon, and Roxxon sent the Kree after him, and he's fighting them, and then he finally rips one of the guys out and says, why are you trying to kill me? And he's like, we're not trying to kill you. We're trying to capture you for Roxxon. They need you. They want to hire you for a project. And he's like, the last time I got hired, or the last time I was needed to help people, it wasn't to help people. It was to kill people. He's like, just do me a favor and tell them to leave me alone. And in the background, his wife is trying to find out information about him, if he's still alive, what's going on with him. And she finds out that there might be more to her husband or his past or what he's doing than she was led to believe. And that's kind of where her part ends. And then you got Roxxon, and then next we're going to see WeaponH versus Man-Thing. I wish I had Damage after this, but I don't, because it's not one of my top favorite Marvel books. So I try to keep things in an order when it comes to Marvel, and also it's further along than I think. There's 2 more books from Marvel, or is this the last Marvel book?
I think there's another one after this.
Yes, there is X-23. Okay,
yeah, and the other.
or All New Wolverine. So the Avengers issue number 2. This book takes a bit of a step back from the first issue. Because, now, not a big step back. I don't want you guys to think I'm saying, 20 times worse than its first issue. My problem with this book doesn't come with Cap. It doesn't come with Thor. It doesn't come with the big reveal that Loki has stepped back into his old shoes. Because as you guys know, young Loki was a good guy. You know, he was one of the good guys. He grew up a little bit, and he was still part of the good guy squad. He was part of, I forgot what, the Young Avengers or whatever. And now he's a young adult again. He's kind of at where Loki is in the movies as far as age. And he has now slipped back into a role that, as he says in the book, they're shackled to. And so Loki's kind of the antagonist here. What I didn't like about the book was She-Hulk, she took a huge step back. Now, I remember how they ended the She-Hulk run. And she was definitely not a Hulk. She still had minor control. Now, in this book, it looks like she's lost complete control. Doesn't even refer to herself as She-Hulk. She refers to herself as the Hulk. Her lines, her disposition, the way she acts is all Hulk, Hulk, Hulk. And it's like, that's not She-Hulk. That's not how, she was in her book. She was also gray, not green. Now she's green. And she's Hulk. Basically, if you were to take her brain and put it in Bruce Banner, or if you were to take her character mold and switch it to the regular Hulk, she's the Hulk. And I like how the Celestial's like, I can cure you. So this might actually be a good thing, and there might be a reason why she's like this. I think that there's a possibility here that She-Hulk might be cured of her, whatever's going on in her body, by the Celestial possibly. So they might actually cure She-Hulk. Is Jean going to turn out to be crazy? What makes her dream different than Xavier's? Also, Xavier's back. This is awkward. Aggressively relaxing. Welcome to the stream, number 1. Number 2, Mike already did X-Men Red, so I'll let him answer about Jean. As far as Xavier, I gave up on reading Astonishing X-Men. I think the whole return of Xavier is kind of weird and awkward, but for the fact that he took over Phantom X's body. You want to do Jean real quick, and then I'll go back to Avengers?
I was going to say, I don't think Jean's going to turn out to be crazy unless they are letting her go down that road, but I don't really see that, actually.
I don't think Jean will go crazy again. I think that it was a lot of the Phoenix.
The dream is just really just with the Phoenix, and that's what got, her thinking stuff differently. But
no, Tevia, Xavier's back in Phantom. Unless they changed it in Astonishing, then I'll have to check it out. But from what I heard, that was Xavier. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with X-Men anymore. That's why I could care less, and why, honestly, I don't even think I'm going to continue with XMen Gold at this point. I'm just going to let everything play out at this point and just let it go. Okay, I don't know. Okay, but back to the Avengers. I like that there's a possibility they might cure She-Hulk, or She-Hulk might go back to being the way she was before before Bruce died, because obviously Bruce is alive now again anyway. So there can be really only one mind. They changed it. Okay, there can be only one Hulk. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. The lack of detail makes me suspicious. She whispers it to Kurt. I don't know, man. As far as the X-Men go, they need a nice soft reboot. I think Marvel has put the poor X-Men and mutants through a ringer. I don't know. It was a Shadow King, they say now? Okay. But Avengers. I like the action in the book. I like that Loki is the reason for everything that's going on. He's not just doing the Celestials. He's also the reason for the bugs coming back. But he's messing with a whole bunch of different groups of superheroes that obviously will come together as the Avengers. But I didn't like the way they did She-Hulk here, unless there's a purpose. There might be a purpose. There might be a whole, we're going to make her look really, really bad so that when we cure her, it makes it look really, really good. And in that case, I'm okay with that. But that's what threw me off with this issue was Jen Walters and She-Hulk. That threw me off. Because her character, again, this goes back to what I was saying with the Wolverine laws of whatever that it's called. The problem is the lack of research or the lack of continuity when it comes to characters. I didn't see She-Hulk. She-Hulk was not like that when we left the She-Hulk series. Same with Sabretooth. He's not a full bad guy yet. Could he get there? Yes. And Dawkins was very out of character. So I feel like a lot of these books are not staying true to the continuity. But then again, as Jay would say if Jay was here, when it comes to Marvel and their continuity, there is no continuity. Every book is like its own little universe. So in this case, though, I didn't like the way they did She-Hulk, but I thought the book was structured really, really well. I'm looking forward to issue 3. Hopefully things will pick up a bit. We'll see more about this cure for She-Hulk. And I'm still on board. I love Ed McGuinness's artwork, and I think the story has potential.
All right. I review this for Frontline, the Punisher issue number 224. Instead of being called Punisher War Machine, now it's called Punisher War Criminal, Part 1. There's a new story on it. And basically,
makes sense.
Yeah. And basically, what they're focusing on here is the Punisher that's back in New York is going up against a new Nick Fury, one of Nick Fury's Captain Marvel. And by the way, I've been hearing lots of news on YouTube. There's a Captain Marvel movie in the making, like a leaked trailer or something.
Dude, we've seen pictures. We've talked about it on Frontline Live. Captain Marvel is coming out next year. She was part of the post credits in Avengers: Infinity War.
Well, I didn't see it.
This is why you should pay attention more on Frontline Live.
Well, if they... Whatever.
We've discussed this multiple times. Anyway. She looks perfect for the part, as a matter of fact, as well.
Well, yeah. So basically, she fights off against Punisher. Daredevil tries to talk sense into the Punisher, and he doesn't listen. Hawkeye tries, and he fails. So Captain Marvel has her own team of people, that are going to... they're basically done playing nice, or being nice. So they're going to be the ones going after the Punisher. But it's not like the first time we saw Punisher go after Marvel Universe people, because it's happened in the past issues, or volumes and issues.
Sad to see this title go. However, I am happy to say it will be he stole Hawkeye's pizza. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, he's like saying, "Oh, now's my pizza. He stole." That was funny.
But I'm sad to see this go as far as a title. I am glad to see that Laura will continue on. I am also sad to see Tom Taylor leaving because Tom Taylor has a way of writing characters. I mean, he gets them perfect. But All New Wolverine issue 35, the final issue, at the very end of the book, it does advertise for X-23. This is Old Woman Laura. This is the final chapter, her versus Doom. Now, Maria Hill died in the last issue. Laura has had enough. So they separate into two teams. Laura goes after Doom, and the rest of them go to save all the heroes that have been imprisoned by Dr. Doom, long since thought to be dead. And we got Miles, Rocket Raccoon, Thor, Captain America, who is actually America Chavez, not Steve Rogers' Cap. And she frees them. They free them. Laura, what happens is the whole thing was Doom's plan all along. He wanted Laura to come to Latveria because he wanted to transfer minds. He wanted to send his consciousness into Laura because he thought Laura was immortal, like Logan, like everybody else. And what happens is he didn't know she was dying. So he escapes back into his body. Laura had already killed his body. And basically that was the end of Doom. Latveria is freed, and we see that Laura is starting to kind of give up. Like, she's ready to finally kind of get put down, like, rest, like, go. And I like how Gabby's like, no, you're not ready. You've been fighting all this time. Now you're going to fight to stay alive so you can see the utopia that you created. You saved the last city that needed saving. Now it's up to you to keep fighting, and we're going to find a way to cure you, whether it be magic, medicine, whatever. We're going to find a cure for you, so get up and let's go. And she gets up, and that's the end of the volume. And I liked it. I like that, unlike Old Man Logan. Well, no, actually, Old Man Logan lived. Also, I like that we didn't see her die, that she didn't die, that the story didn't end with her dying as well, that she's going to keep fighting to survive whatever is killing her. So I liked it. I like the relationship between her and Gabby, and I can only hope that whoever, I forgot who's taking over X-23, I can only hope that that writer takes notes from what Tom Taylor did with X-23. Tom Taylor, you did an amazing job with X-23. I'm loving your Adamantium heroes with the Hump for Wolverine, and I'm excited to read anything that comes from Tom Taylor next. I forget what book he's actually doing, but I am going to be reading it, and I'm looking forward to it. So, Old Man Logan had a happy ending. Right, Old Man Logan had a happy ending. Well, so did Old Woman Laura. I loved it. I loved it. I can't wait for X-23. I'm glad that we're not just going to see Laura go off into the sunset and we're never going to see her again. It makes sense, though, because Wolverine is technically back. I think they're taking the title off the table because, obviously, once we get through the hunt for Wolverine, probably by September or October, because I think that's when the hunt will be over, in August. Yes, the last parts to all the minis will be in August. I think by September, October, maybe later on, we will be getting a Wolverine title again with Logan. And that's why they took All New Wolverine off the table, to give it a rest. So once they are ready to bring Logan back, they'll have the title Wolverine ready. That's my prediction. Now, Damage, issue number 5, always comes out alongside of WeaponH. Honestly, I feel like both books are kind of in the same area for me. When it comes to WeaponH, Damage, Damage lost to Poison Ivy, who's apparently conflicted inside of herself. And I think we saw this in Batman because Harley Quinn is the one that reached out to Poison Ivy to fix her. Obviously, this takes place before that. Damage is freed by one of the people he was working with. Obviously, it's an hour later, so he's powered down already. He's saved. He's resting up while this other the group that created him is looking for him. So WeaponH and Damage, I feel like, are very, very similar in their stories, in their structure, and what they're doing. Next issue, WeaponH is fighting Man-Thing. Next issue for Damage, we're going to get into it, but he's going to be facing a known villain as well. So the guy saved Evan, and Evan now wants to go, he questions going back, but he decides he's going to go back as Damage to save the guy's friends because he saved Evan, because he knows that Evan has the power to fight against Poison Ivy. So he goes back after the whole book is a lot of conversation between him and the guy. And he goes back as Damage, and instead of fighting Poison Ivy, we find out that Poison Ivy has been teaming up with Gorilla Grodd. And now the next issue is going to be Damage versus Grodd. Also, There was a hint drop from the past. When Damage was out on a mission, whoever picked him up mentioned, don't forget the Unknown Soldier. And the Unknown Soldier is, I forgot what it is in the DC universe, but it is something. I can't remember what, but he said to remember that, so that's going to play into something in the future. Scotty, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. No worries about being late, man. Better late than never. So, like I was saying, I don't know. If you were to take Damage and WeaponH and put them up against each other, right now I feel like they're on the same frequency. I really do. I don't feel like Damage is doing WeaponH better. I don't think WeaponH is doing Damage better. There are two books about two guys who are able to turn into gigantic monsters. One only has an hour at a time, and then he has to rest. The other one has Wolverine claws that apparently he can use whenever he wants without hulking out. Both are being chased, one by his creator, the other by Roxxon. And I feel like they're kind of mirroring each other. It's very similar while at the same time being different. So I don't know. I feel like when I read both of them sometimes, if not for who they were fighting, they feel very much the same. I really don't feel like one is doing the other better. It's going to be hilarious when the Immortal Hulk comes out, because when the Immortal Hulk comes out, that's 3 monster books. Or you call them monsters, but you know what I mean when I say it. We're talking about 3 characters who can Hulk out or beef out into monsters to save the day. And WeaponH has control over it. Hulk won't. Bruce Banner won't again. And Damage semi has control. So there are going to be 3 books like that. And I don't know. Will I drop WeaponH at some point? The possibility. Will I drop Damage? I think between the two right now, Damage is the one that I'm kind of lacking in interest in. Because I feel like I ran through Damage this week and really not much has progressed. With WeaponH, I also feel not much has progressed. He fought a bunch of Kree and ran away again. Still got Roxxon chasing after him. Still got his wife trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Lack of progression. And I think that's what's going to take both books, not one, but both books off of my list. And then we'll see when Immortal Hulk comes out, if it's anything worth reading as well. If that's going to be like these books, then that book will be another book that will end up on the drop or digital pile. Both WeaponH and Damage are in my digital-only pile right now. So we'll see. Batman issue number 47. Thank you, God. The series is over. So, Batman figured out a way to fix... oh, God. Why did... I forgot his name now. No, go down. What do you, I said go down, and you're going further. Well, Skeet. Batman has found a way to fix Skeet. It's been about, I forgot how many, 1 year later after his parents died, Catwoman died, everybody died. And now he is going to take Booster Gold using Skeet to go back in time and stop Catwoman from killing his parents. Except Booster, using Skeet, tells Skeet to go back when his parents first were killed. And Skeet brings them back to the very first time they almost got killed. Yes, so many Hulks. Too many, Justin. And what happens is he's met up with his past self and Skeet. And what happens is Skeet dies, the one from the... This is going to get very confusing. One Skeet dies, one Booster, I believe, dies. But the other one that was with Batman all those years in that universe survives. Unfortunately, he lets history play out, and then the Bruce from the universe where his parents didn't die ends up taking his own life. The end. And then Booster kind of is explaining the story to Batman and Catwoman. He's like, I got these smudges on my glasses and I can't get it off. And that's symbolic for, I guess, you know, he feels like he did something he screwed up really, really bad. And that was deep. That was very, very deep. But again, I'm glad the story's over. I believe the next arc is the last one, and then we lead into the wedding. So we'll see. Justice League No Justice, issue number 2. So Brainiac's dead. Amanda Waller thinks that, you know, the heroes have left Earth unprotected. Later on, teaming up with Green Arrow, finds out that it's her fault. She killed Brainiac, and that's what set Seed on Earth in motion. That's what left the Justice League and all the other heroes/villains on Cthulhu kind of at a loss for what they're supposed to do. At first, they want to split into teams that they make, and then they finally decide, okay, you know what, Brainiac's put us in these teams for a reason. Cthulhu know that they're wearing gear that Brainiac has made, and they don't trust them. Even if they are heroes, why would they wear stuff that the greatest villain of Cthulhu ever created? So they're not getting any help. They separate into teams. One's fighting Ghost. One is finds all these little worlds that have been protected from the Titans that they need to free. Another group is in a nursery, or I forgot what it was. No, was that the nursery one? I don't know. They were separated into 4 different teams doing 4 different things. And I really felt like, and I got to agree with this part, that everyone was fighting for panel time. Every team, you know, you have 4 teams of very big personality characters. And when you have a book that only has so many pages, there are times where you can't separate evenly among all the characters and still have a very structured story. Not much happened with the Justice League. You know, they separated into their teams. They knew where they had to go, where their suits were drawing them. They tried to do the right thing, and then they were getting attacked by Wardens, Cthulhu, Ghosts. And then Amanda Waller finds out that the seed was active already, and it's her fault because she's the one that killed Brainiac, and there was a failsafe to that. So Earth is screwed. Cthulhu is screwed, but we do get to see somebody that we haven't seen in a very long time. Viral Docs, a.k.a. Brainiac 2.0. What that means, I have no clue, because basically at the end of the book he says you've doomed not only Cthulhu, but you've doomed Earth as well. Because Brainiac was the whole heart and soul of the plan. Without him, with him being dead, there is no plan. There is no way of surviving. To be continued. Now, I made the mistake of, I usually wait before I look at any internal artwork of the following issue. I watched Mike Spider-Slayer's haul, and he showed the internal artwork for the next book, for issue 3 that came out today. And the artist changed. I foresee this issue number 3 being in my lowest, in my least favorite of the week, just because of the artwork alone. But again, I do feel like you've got a huge amount of characters in this book. Even though you have some of the superheroes, they show some of the superheroes in stasis on Earth somewhere. They don't know where. There are no heroes left on Earth to protect it, except a few that weren't part of any of the teams. And you've got the other team, the other group that Brainiac brought to Cthulhu, and they're kind of winging it without knowing what they're doing, really. And this, again, is a weekly series. I believe it ends the first week of June, though. I don't believe it ends the end of the month. I think it actually goes another issue in June. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But this is another weekly one. I have 3 weeklies I'm doing right now. Star Trek, Barrier, and Justice League No Justice. And this is a big deal because after Justice League No Justice, number 1, you're going to be happy to know Justice League Dark is coming back.
Oh.
That's the other book. That's the other book, because I said you were going to be reading Urban Legend. There was one other book. Justice League Dark is slated to be returning in 2 months. So Mike's Justice League Dark is coming back. Mike's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Urban Legend is coming out. And then he's going back to Spider-Man. There's a lot of things that you lost that are coming back now. So Justice League Dark is being reformed. Teen Titans is going to be a new team. Titans is going to be a new team. Will I finally drop Titans? Will I have had enough of the team? We'll find out. Nightwing's going to once a month soon. Green Arrow went to once a month. Red Hood and the Outlaws is already at once a month, I believe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of changes coming with DC, with their shipping, with their teams. Justice League is the only... I think in the end, I'm going to end up dropping Titans, and I'm going to be just picking up Justice League, because I don't know how I'm going to feel about Titans. We'll see. But this is supposed to be the event that shakes up the teams, and it's off to a very rocky start, and we're already... This week's issue is the midway point. It's not much so far, and if the artwork is terrible, the story will suffer. No matter how you put it, the story will suffer. Last book, and this was the viewer's choice, And again, I'm sorry, I got sick. I was unable, I had no way of doing any videos this past week. And honestly, yesterday I just got my voice back to 90. Today it's 100. So again, this is why Viewer's Choice might not happen this week as well. But next week I will set up a poll for Viewer's Choice. Superman special, #1, ending Peter J. Tomasi's run. I'm going to say that this was the final chapter to Sergeant Fury, I believe his name was. And it harkens back to the story where John and Superman were on this alternate world because of Mother Box. And John can't sleep one night. He sees, he's looking at the leg and he's like, Dad, we promised we'd go back. We promised we'd save him. He's like, let's fulfill our promise. And long story short, they do end up going back. And finally, the sergeant wants to leave anyway. So again, long story short, again, a lot of crap has been going on, and Fury wants to come home. I think it's Fury. I think I might be saying his name wrong. Captain Storm. Captain Storm, thank you. So they save Captain Storm. He goes home. Clark does what he can to, get him on his feet. He's back on his feet again, and it was a really nice closing of a story that Peter J. Tomasi left open. Now, it's a special. So when it comes to specials, just like Action Comics, there are backup stories. I really did not like the story where Clark was comparing his life when he was a kid to this man who lost. This man had dementia or whatever, and he only had these pictures of his wife to remember her by. And Superman finds out there's a dog in the apartment, and he can only do one of two things. He can either save the dog or get the man his pictures. He saves the dog. Now, I think as a reader, somehow he's going to pull out saving the dog and the pictures. And instead, he just saves the dog. And the man's like, I failed you, Agnes. I failed you. I wasn't able to save your pictures. I'm going to forget you. And Superman's response is, if it means enough to you, you'll never forget her, and take care of this dog for me. So basically, he's like, I couldn't save your pictures, but here's a dog instead to keep you happy. And the man is like, usually in a story like that, you'd have the guy either saying, Agatha loved dogs, so I'll remember her this way. And no, or Agnes, or whatever the woman's name was, he says, I failed you. And Superman's like, no, you didn't fail, because if she meant that much to you, you'll never forget. And it goes into this facial shot where Superman's supposed to be giving this great epiphany. And I'm like, dude, you're a jerk. I literally felt that was the first time ever. I feel like this writer had no clue what the hell he was writing. And it's like, dude, you're a freaking jerk. You're saying, oh, well, if your dementia, lets you forget her, then it wasn't something to remember. It'll always be in your heart. And I was like, what? I mean, at least if you're going to write it the way you wrote it, have the guy go, oh, my former wife loved dogs, so I'll remember her that way. The guy was not appreciative at all. He's like, dude, my pictures. What am I going to do with this dog? I don't think I could take care of a dog. It was just a very weird story. I hated it. I didn't like the artwork that was attached to it. I did not like that story whatsoever. It was the worst backup story I had ever read. Then the last story, which I think is playing into a possible future arc with Bendis, was Atomic Skull, teaming up with Superman to take down the guy that he escaped. I forgot the prison they were in, and basically he has a choice where he could go back to being a supervillain or save Superman and team up with him and bring this guy to justice. And he chooses to bring the guy to justice, but it looks like he also absorbed his powers somehow, and it's like not the end. So I was like, okay, nice. But again, this is, you're saying not the end, but Bendis is taking over Superman, and Action and Superman are only getting one issue apiece at a time. So maybe a future arc, but that middle story really annoyed the hell out of me. It really annoyed me to the point where this book lost the star for sure, just because it was very out of character. Even the follow-up with Atomic Skull, the backup stories were horrible. They were horrible this time around. I didn't even like them. As a Superman fan, I didn't like them. I thought the main story was really nice, heartfelt, a wonderful goodbye for Peter J. Tomasi. I feel like the book was ruined by the follow-up stories. I would have been happy if the book would have been $1 less and just that story. I did not like the backup stories whatsoever, especially that middle one. It didn't fit. I read it twice because maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one reading it wrong. No. I didn't like it. Basically, if you loved her that much, you will always remember her no matter what. Exactly. No, at that point, the building was collapsing, Alan. He couldn't blow the fire out. But I would think he could save the dog, and maybe the other guy's apartment was right above. Or at least the guy could have said, or the writer himself could have said, oh, my wife loved dogs, so this is how I'll remember her. Instead of the pictures, I have the dog. The writer didn't even do that. The writer just had the guy going, I don't think I could take care of a dog. Really? That's how you're going to end the story? And then you're going to make it look like a big epiphany, Superman said? That was bad. I mean, and I defended the Max Landish story in the Action Comics special. This one, I don't even know what Jay thought about it, but I mean, I don't know, man. I didn't like it. And that really brought me down. That brought the rating for the book down, and I feel like the writer had no clue. I really do. I feel like the ending could have been so much more than what we got. I feel very like that story was very empty, and I felt empty as a reader after reading it. I feel there was way more stuff put into the Atomic Skull backup one than that one. I didn't like that story at all. But with that, that's it for this review, everybody. Thank you all so much for patience because of me being sick. You know, a lot of you I know wanted a few videos. We wanted to do a few videos last week. We didn't get a chance to. There's going to be an update on this channel. There's going to be an update on Twitch. I will have a Twitch update for all of you soon on Twitch, but the update video will touch on Twitch a little bit. Again, we'll have the update / unboxing video followed by a live show AMA. We will have the Dark Avenger podcast hopefully by this week sometime. This weekend is my birthday weekend. We're going to be celebrating. So I don't know what is going to go up on the weekend. I will say there will be a birthday live stream on Tuesday, regardless whether we do the comic review on Monday or Wednesday. There will be a live show on this channel on Tuesday before, Frontline Live, and then it will go over to Frontline Live, where we'll continue Frontline Live normally. But we'll have a Dark Avenger celebration or birthday celebration live show before Frontline. Also, ironically, for my birthday, the update for Sea of Thieves is dropping. This is why I decided to wait on the game review. I literally started recording, and then that day, as I was editing the video, because this was before I got sick, they put out a trailer for the update. The update involves a campaign story that's temporary, but it's a campaign story, and added stuff to the game that's free. This is the last time I'm putting the game review on hold. So whether we get a good amount of stuff on this DLC or not, and I'm going to be honest with you all, I am very close to being done with Sea of Thieves for multiple reasons. Multiple reasons. When a game allows people to be jerks, 9 times out of 10 they are, and the frustration factor of doing a mission and then having somebody just sail up, try to sink my ship, and get all the stuff that I just earned, all the treasure I just earned, and take away not only my money, but my ability to level up. That gets, it's part of the game, but that part gets very frustrating after a while. And with State of Decay out now, and y'all know how much I love survival horror games, and this is not a versus, this is only where you can team up with friends, Sea of Thieves is going to take a backseat unless things start changing on that. I understand that Rare want to make this beautiful community, but I'm sorry to say, Rare, you're going to have to start thinking about separating your service to people who want to get the job done and people who want a PvP. Division does an excellent job of that. PvP is the Dark Zone or Last Stand. PvE is the main story, and Also, survival can be PvE or PvP. PvE, you can't kill other players. PvP, you can. The rewards for PvP are a lot better than PvE, but there's still rewards for PvE. You can play 2 PvEs and the rewards for that equal 1 PvP, maybe. But you give people the choice. Do you want more rewards and have to fight people, or do you want less rewards, but you won't have to worry about people fighting you? In Sea of Thieves, I would like that option at this point, because I feel like people are being jerks and there's no way you could stop it, and there are hackers there. They've confirmed it, and they did say they're going to start dropping the ban on them. So I would like servers to be divided amongst people who want to actually just do missions and people who want to go out there, do missions, but also be able to fight other ships. That's what I feel. Can you do it in a game like this? I don't think so, because they've implemented it to such an open world that it's hard. But then it's all about getting friends to play with you, because playing it solo or even just 2 people, it's a very hard environment unless you get lucky and you do not see any ships while you're sailing around and you decide not to do any skull forts. Then you have a good chance of bringing in some loot. You just got to hope and pray that nobody, is on the server looking to fight. I hear AMA, I think, ask Mike anything. No, it's ask me anything. But I know but Mike will be here, so I'm sure you can ask him anything too. But that is actually funny. That's what you should make a show of. Ask Mike anything.
We have X Spidey. I think that's good enough.
That's true. Ask Spidey, by the way, is back, everyone. I forgot. Thank you. That reminds me. We are actually...
Do you have questions, please, to Spidey?
Yes, it's in the Discord. There is a Discord channel. Legend did send a few.
I know, but one question at a time. I mean, I understand, but just one at a time.
Well, no, he sent a few, but he stopped. Now he's going to wait till some of his questions are answered.
I know, but I'm saying for the other people.
Okay, and Tevian, nothing about Spider-Man, nothing about Marvel, nothing about anything. Now, the problem is a lot of the suit stuff that I got for my Spider-Man character is a bit small. So what we have to do is we have to reorder some. These are going to go to Michael, though, which is cool because he does have an Iron Spider suit, but it's cool that he'll have the shirt. But he doesn't have a Spider-Man Homecoming suit. So there is that. So Jesse, how late am I? We're wrapping up. I'm so sorry, Jesse. We're talking. We're doing like a post show, and then we're wrapping up. But I did promote you before because I accidentally called Justin you. So, but it's great that you're here no matter what, Jesse. No worries, you're here. That's the important thing. But we're gonna get me more shirts because apparently I didn't know, but these shirts actually come from Japan or China, and the sizing in Japan and China are very different than America. So I got extra large, but in reality, extra large in Japan is a medium or small medium. So when I wear it, the suit gets like this. And no, I know it'll fit because I've already done they have a size chart. So when I wear it, if you see the symbol, if you stretch it too much, you see how the symbol gets like white? It ruins the whole point of the shirt because it's printed on such a fine fabric that if it's stretched too much, it becomes clear and white. So it ruins the pattern, it ruins the picture. So I'm gonna get new shirts soon. Room construction, like I said, there will be a vlog on all of it except for what's happened so far. So all you need to know is this wall. First of all, I'm fixing this. There was a problem over here. I'm fixing that, and then there will be the row of comics under here will be back. Everything that was here is now over there in back of the door, and there's some big plans for the wall that's directly behind us. But again, that's part of the video. I don't want to spoil that, but suffice to say there will be big changes coming to that wall because we record everything over here now. So Comic Book Corner, as far as reviews and videos, isn't as needed, I'll say, anymore. Your muscles are too big. Yeah, my fluff is too big, you mean, Justin. So look forward to all those videos, like I said, the podcast, the videos, the Twitch stream that'll give updates on Twitch. Look forward to some vlogs as well. I've got a couple of things that I have in mind, and then I will have a couple of things I'm announcing on the live show on May 29th. So if you're free earlier than Frontline Live, you'll definitely want to be here, because I will be announcing a couple of things that will be added to the channel that are connected to what I do and what a lot of people don't realize. I feel like I don't advertise what I am really as hard as I should, and that's the big teaser I'm leaving for you guys for right now. I'm going to leave that right there, and we'll talk. We'll pick this up again next Tuesday, what I'm talking about here. But anyway, going back, look forward to videos. Look forward to another live show, probably the same day I do the video at night. Listen to the video. The video will tell you guys, and I'll also advertise it on Discord in the nation. So keep an eye on the Dark Avenger Nation on the Comic Frontline Discord, which hopefully all of you are a part of. First of all, Jesse and Justin are here. Jesse has his live show tomorrow night, which is Comic Conversation. Go check that out. Justin has his live show this coming Sunday, which is Sunday Morning Comics. Check that out. And check out everybody I mentioned here. Now, Jesse, Justin, Legendstorm, Tevya, Alan. We had Aggressively Relaxed, I believe, who popped in. Scotty, who popped in. Aggressively Relaxing. I think that's all we had tonight. Yeah, that's all we had tonight. I want to thank all of you for being here live. Such a tease. Oh, yes, such a tease indeed. I want to thank all of you for being here live tonight, but now we're not live anymore. So now it is your turn, everybody out there that is watching this post live. Let us know what you thought about the comics that came out this week. Likes, dislikes, agree, disagree, recommendations. We love hearing from you guys. We will hopefully be back on time next week. If not, because of the catch-up to certain videos I have to do, we will be back on time, like Mike said, the first week of June, because the last week of May, I don't think there are that many books. So I'll be able to power through them a bit faster than usual. Oh, Legend, I'm feeling much better, man. I'm on the getting better swing, pretty high up now, so no need to thank me, man. I love doing these videos. So till the next video, everybody, thank you so much. Take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you all really soon in the next review.
Bye, everybody.